back to my channel. I hope all is well, and today I want to talk about the change of monarchy across the UK and what it means for people with autism and disabilities across the world. So as a lot of you guys know, across the world and here in the UK, we are currently under the 10 days of national mourning for the UK Queen Elizabeth II, who tragically passed away last Thursday, and her state funeral will be next Monday the 19th. So as someone with a disability myself, who's on the autism spectrum, I think it's important to talk about what happens now that there is a change of monarchy, as recently it's become a change of monarchy from Queen Elizabeth II, God rest her soul, and now it has been proclaimed that King Charles III, formerly known as Prince Charles, has now taken over as king, with his wife Camilla as Queen Consort, which basically means that he is responsible now for the UK alongside his wife Camilla, the Queen Consort, which is the title the Queen gave her before she passed away. And we now across the UK have proclaimed King Charles III as our national heir, as the next remaining heir from Queen Elizabeth in the bloodline, that he's entitled to legally become king. So right now the UK is under 10 days of national mourning, which basically means we are saying goodbye, our final farewells to the Queen before she gets buried in the vault with her husband, the late Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. On Monday evening, I believe, she gets put in the vault with him, but her actual state funeral is Monday morning, from 11 AM UK time, and it's due to end at midday UK time, which I think is about 6 AM Eastern time, I believe. So yeah, as for people with disabilities, this might throw a lot of people off their usual routine. For a lot of people like myself who have autism, a lot of people who have disabilities, we thrive on having structure and a routine. And everybody, especially in my lifetime, I can speak my own experience, that we've only known Queen Elizabeth as our queen, and now because that routine's been broken, that routine has come to an end, that era has come to an end, because she's no longer here physically or spiritually, or she's now in the better place, I call it. She's now not here, she's now not in pain, she's not suffering. But for a lot of us who require that routine, we're used to hearing about her day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Her presence was always physical. She was always out and about, greeting people, meeting people, speaking to people, writing to people. She was always in the news of some speculation. She was always in the news about something she was doing, or a member of her family were out doing, whether that was the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge at the time, who are now known as the Prince and Princess of Wales, or if it was the Duke of York, formerly Andrew, and other people that she is associated with. The royal family have always been in the public eye for quite a long time because of their duties. They are public people, they are to serve the public, they are to work for the public. We are the ones that maintain their roles and maintain their accountability here in the public eye, in public interest. For those of us with disabilities who have known the Queen and grown up with the Queen all our lives, and we've constantly been around her announcements, we've heard her televised announcements, radio announcements, that voice has always been structure, it's always been routine, it's always been safety, it's always been something that we could rely on day in, day out, hearing her voice, especially Christmas, New Year's, things like that. And now that speech is now going to be taken over by the King Charles III, who is the legal next heir to the throne. So now he'll become to do that. And I think a lot of us are going to struggle to process what it means to now have a king instead of a queen, and we then have to adjust to him doing all the public duties that his late mother, Queen Elizabeth, who we've all known as children, young adults, older adults, into our adolescence, we've all grown up with her being that one voice, that one structure, that one person who was in charge of the monarchy, the institution, the firm, the family, the business. She's always been that one person who's been reliant. She's always been that one person who's been there. She's dealt with all the stereotypes. She's dealt with all the negativity. She's dealt with all the good stuff with the monarchy that they've done over the time. But at the same point, when you're disabled and then your routine is cut, or your routine has stopped what you're used to, it is going to take time to process, because now we have to process, okay, so the Queen is no longer here, we're now dealing with a king and a Queen Consort. And we're now dealing, instead of having the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, we're now dealing with the Prince and Princess of Wales and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is Harry and Meghan. So we're having to deal with title changes. So again, that's going to confuse a lot of people who are used to knowing them as the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince Charles, and Camilla. Whereas now all their titles have changed, as I've just explained. You've now got King Charles III, who used to be Prince Charles. You've now got Camilla, who's now stepped up a role and is now Queen Consort. Then you used to have the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who are now the the Prince and Princess of Wales. And then you've got the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is Harry and Meghan. So there's a lot of role responsibility that's changed. There's a lot of people who've upgraded their titles. You've also got Sophia and Edward, who is the Duke and Duchess of Wessex, I believe it is, that the Queen gave to them. So yeah, you've got all these different title changes, and also you've got the title changes with Prince Andrew, who's no longer the Duke of York. That title has been scrapped due to allegations, alleged allegations, I should say, against him. So again, the monarchy has had a lot of changes recently, and now we've gone from being in a queen state to now a king, who's now going to be head of state, head of the Commonwealth, head of the realms. So again, that is a big jump from being the prince of the country to now being the king of a great divided country. Yes, I'm aware not all of you might be royalists or supporters or followers of the royals. I get it, totally fine, totally understandable, and I totally understand why you don't want to have any intrigue or interest in it. But for people with disabilities who are royalists or do have a royal interest or do follow them to some aspect, because we want to keep up to date with what they're doing, what causes they're supporting, things that they're passionate about, like conservation and the environment and early childhood development, stuff like that. It's important to make sure that we keep up to date with them selected charities, them selected missions, and other charities that they may support on later on down the line. And I know a lot of people right now in the UK are grieving, we're upset, and I think this is going to throw off people with disabilities again as well, because we don't know how to feel, we don't know how to process each emotion. So right now I've gone from being really, really sad and emotional to kind of a little bit of relief, because I find that the Queen is gone, she's at peace, she's not struggling, she's not having mobility issues anymore, because the last few months she was having what they called mobility issues or accessibility issues, and I feel at peace knowing that she's not doing that now. Even though it's sad she's not here and being the overall monarch and the mother, the grandmother, the queen, the sovereign of the country, I think I'm glad that she's not in pain. But at the same point, we are having to adjust to new rules and new national anthem. That's another thing I want to point out. The national anthem has now changed from God Save the Queen to God Save the King. So again, all the lyrics have had to change. So again, now, instead of singing God Save the Queen, we're having to sing God Save the King, and the lyrics have all had to be changed. So again, that's going to throw someone off who loves the national anthem of the UK, who has sung it repeatedly, who knows it like the back of their hand, like I do. And that's really actually played my head a little bit, because I'm like, oh, I can't actually sing God Save the Queen anymore, because it was written for her, it was written for her service, and she dedicated her life until her death to this country. She worked and worked and worked, and she kept her promise, because she said, I will dedicate my life and service to this country, to serve the people and to serve our united country, whether my life is long or whether it is short. And she made good on that promise. She fulfilled that promise. She was here till the end. And then she handed it over to Charles, which is called the Ascension Day, which basically means Charles then would step up to his rightful heir and be the rightful king for the throne. So, you know, it's kind of been a really whirlwind of emotions and a whirlwind of a journey, because now the Queen is lying in state in Westminster Hall, where she will be there until Monday morning, and then she'll be moved to Westminster Abbey for her church service, which will be a national state funeral, and it is a UK public bank holiday. This Monday, the 19th of September, will be a UK public bank holiday, and most shops and stores or restaurants or pubs will be closed in respect and memoriam to the Queen, to the Sovereign, to the Monarch, the head of the state, head of the Commonwealth countries. And I just want to talk about this from a disabled perspective, because even though I'm not the most biggest royalist supporter, I do follow the royal family on social media. I do like to keep up with the pictures. I love seeing the pictures that the Prince and Princess of Wales puts out. I do love seeing the pictures that Buckingham Palace puts out, the Queen and different members of the family. I like how they celebrate celebrations like the children's birthdays and stuff like that, because it just is a really good thing to put out. But again, for people with disabilities who have a real special interest with the royal family, who follow them rigidly, will go out to the events and support them, and actually go to like the Queen's lying in state right now. People are actually lining up with disabilities to go and see her coffin for the final time before she gets buried on Monday. And I think it's going to really destroy people's emotions. It's really going to be hard for them to process what's actually happening, the reality that she's gone. And I think this is something that we should take note of. And if you have a disabled loved one in your life, or you work with someone, or you care for someone, or you're friends with someone who is disabled, whether it's autism, ADHD, cerebral palsy, any form of disability, mental health issue, make sure that you support them, because they're going to be going through a hard time. These next 10 days, or these next 5 days, I should say, are going to be extremely testing for them. And I think the sooner that we can adjust to each other and help each other through this, it will become a lot more easier. So this is my take on what I feel people with disabilities are going to be going through these next 5 days. Please do not shout at them, yell at them, tell them to stop crying, tell them to stop being sad, because you can't do that. We can't just switch off our emotions because we don't know how to process it. This is such a raw, shocking big deal. And I think the sooner we support people with disabilities to realise the Queen has gone, she served her country, her time was up, she had been ill for quite a while, and yeah, I hope you understand how to support your loved ones, your work colleagues, your friends, your family during this hard time. Maybe download information for them, download some pictures of the Queen, put them in a frame for them, or put some pictures up on the wall so they still had that memory of her before she fell ill. They had that memory of someone they can look up to and be inspired by, and know for the rest of their life they knew a Queen who actually cared for the country. So that's my perspective on it. I have attached some pictures of the royal family over the years as part of this video, so please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back soon. Bye!